going to read you Miss Brown is Upside Down, my weirdest school, number 3, Miss Brown is Upside Down, okay? We read until chapter 3. So, today we're going to read about the Bridge of Love. Okay, let's get started. Chapter 4, The Bridge of Love. Right after we pledged the islands for the next morning, Miss Brown came into our classroom. This time she wasn't hopping on the pogo stick. She climbed in through the window. Anyone can use the door, she told us. It's more creative to climb in the window. Wow, Miss Brown is weird. Neil brought his model rocket launcher from home and we attached it to the roof from the death machine. It looked cool. What's our next brain game task? Asked Mr. Cooper. Today, we're going to build a bridge, she replied. The bridge that can support the most weight will be the winning prize in the brain games. How are we going to build a bridge? Asked Alexia. We're just kids. You have to use, wait a sec. I'm going to show you. And it's the window and she's climbing out the window. Okay, you have to use your creativity, said Miss Brown. Now a material that could use to build a bridge. Now, what material could be used to build a bridge? We could use something really strong, Andrea said, like bricks. According to the rules, said Miss Brown, we are not allowed to use bricks. Besides, anybody can build a bridge with bricks. We have to use our creativity and build our bridge out of something you might find in a classroom. We looked around. Pencils, shouted Michael. Glue sticks, shouted Ryan. Paper, shouted Neil. Everyone was yelling stuff. I looked around the classroom. There was a box of toothpicks on Mr. Cooper's desk. Toothpicks, I shouted. Everybody looked at me like I was crazy. Everybody except Miss Brown. That's a great idea, AJ, she hollered. We can build our bridge out of lots of toothpicks. Wow, that was my second great idea in 2 days. No wonder I was in the gifted and talented program. Miss Cooper called Miss Hannah in the art room, and a few minutes later she came in with a bunch more toothpicks in little boxes. We spent all morning gluing them together to build our toothpick bridge. Finally, just before lunch, the bridge was finished. Wow, I said, this bridge is cool. You kids are so creative, said Miss Brown. Should we give the bridge? We should give the bridge a name, suggested Ryan. How about the Bridge of Death? Yeah, agreed all the boys. You already got to name the car, complained Angela. Okay, so look, before I read this sentence, I'll show you. AJ is very happy because his idea was his idea was great again, and they had made the bridge, and let's find out the bridge could hold things. Okay, the girl should get to name the bridge. That's only fair. I say we should call it the Bridge of Love. Ugh, disgusting. Andrea said the L word. I agree with Angela, says Emily, who always agrees with Angela. Angela is right, said Miss Brown. The girl should get to name the bridge. Yeah, shouted all the girls. And that's how our bridge came to be called the Bridge of Love. Next, we have to see how much weight our bridge can hold, said Miss Brown. "We'll do that after lunch when the glue has dried. Who's the lightest person in the class?" Nobody knew who was the lightest person in the class. So Miss Brown called our nurse, Miss Cooney, in Caricom. She has a skill in the nurse office, and Miss Cooney said we could come down there and weigh ourselves. After lunch, we went to Miss Cooney's office. Each of us got on the scale, and Miss Cooney called out the numbers. I weighed 66 pounds. Well, that's a lot of pounds. I don't know how much I weighed, but well, for the third grade, it's really heavy. Okay. Michael weighed 69 pounds. Ryan weighed 58 pounds. The lightest person in the class was Emily. She weighed 51 pounds. "Emily," said Miss Brown, "when we go back to the classroom, will you please stand on the bridge of love to see if it can support your weight?" "I'm scared," said Emily, who's scared of everything. "It'll be fine," Emily said. "Angela, the bridge of love is really strong." Emily looked all scared as we walked back to our classroom. When we got there, she put one foot on the bridge of love really carefully. It seemed to hold her up, so she put her other foot on the bridge. "See, Miss Brown," said Miss Brown. "The bridge is holding you up, Emily. It just goes to show that we don't need bricks to build a strong structure." That's when the most amazing thing in the history of the world happened. The bridge of love collapsed. Emily fell down. Toothpicks went flying everywhere. Emily was on the floor freaking out. Her hair was full of toothpicks and glue. She went running out of the room. "Sheesh, get a grip." All she did was fall through the bridge. "I think we need to do a little more work on the bridge of love." "Oh no, Emily. I hope she's okay with her butt." "Oh. Okay. I'll show you the pictures." Okay. Chapter 5. Welcome to the Brain Games. Wow, I think I'm predicting they're finally going to the brain game. Woohoo! Okay. Finally, after a week, we were ready for the brain games. We fixed the death machine complete with rocket launcher so it was easier to steer. We rebuilt the bridge of love so Emily could stand on it without crushing it. The only thing we had to worry about was the general knowledge part of the brain games. "Don't worry," said Angela. "I memorized the direction of the Wikipedia." The brain games were held on Friday night. We had to hold them at Dirk's school because their auditorium had a bigger stage. We loaded up our props and rode a bus over to Dirk. When we pulled up to the front of the school, guess who was standing there? It was Morgan Brookbank. She's this third-grade girl who is the star of the Dirk School on TV station. She does their morning announcements every day. "Wow, wow, wow," Morgan Brookbank said when she saw us get out of the bus. "If it isn't the kid from elementary school, are you ready to lose? Your face is gonna lose," I said, pointing my finger at her. "Oh yeah?" Morgan Brookbank replied. "I don't think so. We're going to Pizza World. You're going to Loserland," Ryan told her. Miss Brown got between us and Morgan Brookbank. "Enough of that," she warned. I had never been to Dirk School before. It was big. We had to walk 1,100,000 miles to the auditorium. When we got there, all the seats were filled. Besides the Dirk students, it looked like their parents, grandparents, new-hips, nieces, aunts, and uncles were there. Our parents were in the audience too, but there were only a few of them. It looks like Dirk School has home field advantage, Alexia said. Don't worry about it, Miss Brown assured us. You're going to do fine. And look, she's like bossy. Yeah, you know what's bossy? Bossy means like she do all of her stuff on her own, and she doesn't like stuff that the other persons do. Okay. When our team and the Dirk team got up on stage, everybody clapped their hands. On the footnote, it says, well, what else would they clap? Clapping your feet would be weird. Then some guy climbed up on stage. I recognized him right away. It was Dr. Carbles, the president of Board of Education. I used to think Mr. Claus was important. If Mr. Claus is the king of the school, then Dr. Carbles is the king of the world. He probably sits on a throne and has servants fan with him with feathers. I saw that in a movie once. Now that movie is Disney, and I think it is Jasmine. Yeah, I think. Welcome to the Brain Games, Dr. Carbles into the microphone. This competition is sponsored by the Jiggly Gently Company. It jiggles, so you know it's good. Dr. Carbles introduced Mr. Klutz and Mr. Wilson, who is the principal of Dirk School. They got up on stage and shook hands. I remembered that Dr. Carbles and Mr. Klutz went high school together, so they've known each other for a long time. On the left, we have the third grade students from elementary school, said Dr. Carbles. Our parents clapped and cheered. On the right side, we have the third grade students from the Dirk School, said Mr. Carbles. The whole audience yelled and screamed and shrieked and hooted and hollered. I looked across the stage at Morgan Brocklebank. She was giving me the evil eye. Around one of the brain games will be a test of general knowledge, said Dr. Carbles. But first, a few shots word from our sponsor. Look, brain game. And look, he has a belly sticking out of his body. And Jiggly Gentleman. EMS means elementary school, and DS means Dirk School. Dirk School. Let's go to the next chapter. I don't know which chapter I would read until, but maybe I'll read a lot today. Okay, so today I'm going to read until, chapter 8, okay? Next time I'll read until the end, maybe. Okay, chapter 6 is so jiggly. The lights were dimmed and a giant video screen came down in the middle of the stage. Then this man and lady appeared on the screen. They were way too smiley. Do you like eating things? The man asked. Who doesn't, right? If we didn't eat things, we'd die. And do you know like drinking liquids? The lady asked. Everybody does. In fact, if we didn't drink liquids, we would die. The only thing better than eating is drinking, said the man, is when you can eat and drink at the same time. That's why our whole family loves Jiggly Gentleman, said the lady. It's a complete meal in a bowl. Jiggly has all the vitamins and nutrients you need for a healthy lifestyle, said the man. It contains no sugar, no fat, and no cholesterol. It helps you lose weight, sleep better, see better, look younger, and grow hair. And Jiggly even curses all major diseases. Not only that, but Jiggly comes in all the colors of the rainbow, and it tastes great, said the lady. But the best part is it's fun to eat because it jiggles, right, kids? The camera pulled back to show 3 kids sitting on the floor. Right, the kids shouted. It's so jiggly it makes you giggly. Then they all started laughing way too hard. Who wants some jiggly right now? Asked the parents. I do, shouted the kids. Then the whole family dug into a big bowl of jiggly as if none of them had eaten in weeks. The lights came back on. Man, that camera was lame. Okay, that was a very short chapter, right? I didn't know it has very short chapters. Okay, anyway, Chapter 7. You snooze, you lose. Round 1 of the brain games is about general knowledge, announced Mr. Carbo's responding elementary school would be 2 members of the gifted and talented program, AJ and Andrea. My parents and Andrea's parents clapped their hands. And representing their school would be Morgan Burbank and Tommy Smith. The whole audience erupted in applause like they had just won the Super Bowl. That kid Tommy looked like real doofus. Miss Brown attached the little microphones to my shirt and Angela's shirt and gave each of us buzzer to hold. She told us to push the button if we were able to answer a question. You can do this, Miss Brown whispered to us. Be quick and be smart. Then she got off the stage. Is everybody ready? Ready? Asked Dr. Carbos. Ready, we all replied. Okay, question number 1, said Dr. Carbos. Who was the first president of the United States? And any dumbhead knows that buzz. I pushed the button on my buzzer, but Morgan Bank buzzed in first. George Washington, she shouted. Right, said Dr. Carbos. That's 10 points for Dirk School. I knew that, Angela whispered to me. Well, hit your buzzer, I whispered back to her. Question 2, said Dr. Carbos. In what year Buzz 1776, shouted Morgan Burbank. That's right, said Dr. Carbos. 10 more points for Dirk. What? That's not fair, I complained. We didn't even get the chance to hear the question. You snooze, you lose, said Morgan Burbank. That kid Tommy next to her was just standing there with her finger up his nose. He was no help at all. Dirk School has now 20 points. Elementary has 0, said Dr. Carbos. Next question, who invented buzz? Ha ha, I buzzed in before Morgan Burbank did. Thomas Edison, I shouted. Oh, sorry, no, said Dr. Carbos. Thomas Edison is not correct. The question is, who invented the Franklin stove? Buzz Franklin, shouted Morgan Burbank. That's right, 10 more points for Dirk School. It's now 30-0, said Dr. Carbos. Next question. Name a greenhouse gas that is flammable and comes from a cow fart. What? What kind of a question was that? Buzz methane, shouted Morgan Burbank. It's very bad for the environment. That's right, said Dr. Carbos. Methane? I never heard of methane. How did she know that? The score is 40-0, said Dr. Carbos. This was humiliating. Morgan Brocklebank kept answering all the questions right. Those dirk dorks were crushing us. Their parents were yelling and screaming. Nose Picker Tommy was all excited about winning, as if he had anything to do with it. I thought you memorized the whole dictionary and the encyclopedia, I whispered to Angela. I did, she whispered back. I know all these answers. Morgan is just faster than I am. Andrea was useless. It looked like I was going to be up to me. I tightened my grip on the buzzer. There was no way I was going to let Morgan Burbank and her little nose-picking buddy beat us. Who wrote Little Woman? Asked Dr. Carbles. Buzz, a really short lady, I shouted. Incorrect, said Dr. Carbles. Why do we have tights? Buzz, my mother runs out of laundry detergent and has to buy more, I shouted. Sorry, tights are caused by the moon, said Dr. Carbles. What? I'm a Buzz. Penguins, I shouted. No, the character is elephants. Hello, you're getting them all wrong, Andrea whispered to me. Slow down. You need to wait until he finishes asking the question. Okay. Look. It's like AJ really wants to get the questions right. Okay. If I wait until he finishes asking the question, Morgan Burbank will beat me to the buzzer, I told her. What state makes the most pencils? Asked Dr. Carbles. Buzz, Pennsylvania, I shouted. Wrong. Who developed the Dewey Decimal System? Buzz. Mr. Decamil, I shouted. Oh, so close, said Dr. Carbles. It was Dr. Dewey. Nice try, and now it's time for our final question. What was Shakespeare's first time? Buzz William, Andrea shouted. That's right, said Dr. Carbles. That's 10 points for elementary school. It's about time, I told Angela. One round was over. I put down my buzzer. My hand was all sweaty. The score is 100 points for Dirk School and 10 points for elementary school, announced Dr. Carbles. Bummer in the summer. It was the worst moment of my life. Morgan Barklebank sneered at me from across the stage and mouthed the words, in your face. We lost because of you, I told Angela. Why didn't you hit your buzzer? No, we lost because of you, Arlo. Angela told me you need to think before you give an answer. I probably don't even want to go to Pizza World. I do too. We went back and forth like that for a while. Then Miss Brown climbed up on the stage. She put her arms around both of us. Calm down, she says. Anybody can answer silly trivia questions. It'll make creativity to win the brain games. We still have plenty of time to catch up. It's time for us to move to round 2, said Dr. Carbles. Okay, I think today I'll read until here. This was fun, really. I'm very excited to read this. And anyway, see you tomorrow. Bye.